So the integrity of that train, as far as mechanical reliability.
Right, but that's not the question. That's not the question I raised. The
question
I raised is the impacts on society of what they're doing, let alone the issues that are being raised by shippers and everybody else. I mean, how far are we going to let... I remember when Frank Lorenzo ran Eastern Airlines. We finally drove him out of the business because of what he was doing. But we're seeing the same thing here, started by a guy who's now deceased, that is infecting the railroads and making them subject to these inordinate pressures from Wall Street. And isn't there a point at which you're going to be concerned about the safety by the reduction of the number of employees and about the inconvenience for the rest of the United States of America because these companies are driving these trains as long as they can with as few people as they can? I mean, you don't have any concerns about this. You think this is all just hunky-dory?
I've had sincere commitment to safety since the day I was employed in the railroad industries in 1971, right up until the day I retired, and I still carry that commitment to safety.
Great. And you believe all these reductions in workforce are warranted and not jeopardizing safety in any manner?
Train length.
No, we're not talking about length anymore. I'm now talking about the number of employees who have been dismissed, laid off, so they can increase their bottom line.
Well, we certainly have incurred change. There's no doubt about it. When I hired out in 1971, we had around 700,000 employees. Mm-hmm. We're now down to about 150,000. Okay,
so you're basically going to say this is all just fine and we're being driven by Wall Street and you're happy with that?
No, I'm not happy.
Okay.
I'm trying to share with you the facts.
Well, the fact is, I'm going to what Matt Rose said and the concerns he raised because I thought that he was doing a hell of a job, and they aren't doing these things, and they're serving their shippers better because they aren't being driven by jackals on Wall Street because they were bought by a responsible long-term investment firm.
And for what it's worth, Matt and I share similar opinions.
Okay, well, then you should have some concerns about this PSR stuff. Anyway, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I'm speaking to you today about a massive operational change currently upending the railroad industry, threatening jobs, health, and safety of our members. That change is called Precision Scheduled Railroading, or PSR for short. PSR is not safe or effective as it's currently being implemented, and we believe that Congress and the FRA should exercise their oversight to investigate this. To be clear, our union supports efforts to efficiently operate the nation's railroads. We want the carriers to be profitable, as the profits lead to good raises and benefits for our members. However, we are concerned that the current PSR schemes are detrimental to the long-term outlook of the rail industry, putting short-term gains ahead of long-term success, furloughing thousands while degrading safety. In practice, PSR includes running longer trains on the strictest of schedules, pressuring customers to alter their operations to meet the railroad schedule, forcing employees to meet strict deadlines at all costs, and reducing headcounts to meet Wall Street's expectations to the point that each operation cannot function without forcing our members to work overtime. A few weeks ago, we coordinated with the Transportation Communications Union to conduct a survey of our members and allow them to tell us how precision scheduled railroading is affecting them. The responses are eye-opening. Our members report being overworked, stressed, and scared. They talk of drastic cuts to their shops, and those remaining are being asked to perform double or triple the work compared to before. They speak of increased safety violations, of managers threatening job cuts if deadlines are not met, of being forced to ignore basic safety procedures. A carman from Union Pacific stated, and I quote, "The current culture at UP is one of production first and safety last. It isn't just the safety of employees at stake, it is also the safety of the communities our trains move through. UP has reduced the employment levels to a number that cannot sustain thorough safety inspections. Everyone is scared to do their job right. If you try to, you get told, they will shut down your location just like they did in Hinkle, Oregon. With the PSR atmosphere, it is just a matter of time before lives are lost." End quote. This Carmen was referring to a recent layoff of almost 200 workers at the Hinkle Rail Yard, which included 75 machinists, approximately 75 machinists. Likewise, a machinist from CSX reports being rushed to perform train inspections. Quote, "Right now it's pretty much do what you're told, look the other way. Managers telling employees, you get hurt, you won't have a job here anymore." End quote. These are just a couple of 160 responses we received thus far. For additional responses, please review our full testimony. As part of the survey, we asked our members to rate overall safety on the scale of 1 to 10, before and after PSR implementation. Before PSR, rail safety received an average score of 6.9. After PSR implementation, rail safety received an average score of 2.6. Finally, I suspect that industry representatives will point to data that cites how safety trends are improving. Unfortunately, the data they reference are incomplete. The data sets are incomplete because it is clear to us, judging by the survey responses, that not all safety incidents are being reported. Indeed, our members and union officers report an atmosphere of hostility towards reporting any safety violations whatsoever. As one of my colleagues stated to me after attending a local lodge meeting last week, quote, "The way these guys talk is as if the FRA is non-existent," end quote. We must do better. Thank you for allowing me to testify today. I look forward to answering your questions.
Thank you, Mr. Sandberg. Chair will